Hello and welcome back to another market update. Today is Tuesday, May 17th, 2022. My name is Riley with Team CR Realty, and let's jump right into it. So jumping right into inventory, this week we have 7,835 active listings on the market as of right now. So last week we had 6,935. That's an increase of 12.8%. So we're seeing rather large increases in active listings again, week over week. And again, that just has to do with the interest rates. And these larger increases percentage-wise have to happen because we had such a low inventory level for so long. For a majority of the year, we were under 5,000 listings. At one point, we had under 4,000 active listings on the market. I mean, it was getting ridiculous, and so that's what we saw. We saw the price increases of these houses, obviously because of the demand or the supply was so low. And so that's what happens when supply gets that low of a single family home. These prices are going to continue to go up. So we're seeing the market continue to a little bit of a more healthy state, even though these interest rates are rising. And what this means for you, if you can afford your payment, if you you change your preferences, you want to buy maybe a little bit less house. So instead of getting that $700,000 house, you're going to go for a $500,000 house. You're still getting financing. You can afford these interest rates. You're going to have a lot better of a time getting into a home right now than you were 6 months ago, and you're not going to have to waive every single contingency of your contract. You can get an inspection. You can have a 10-day inspection period. You can get an appraisal. You can make sure you're going to pay appraised price. Again, we're not seeing 30 plus offers on a home anymore. We're seeing still a few. If it's a great listing, maybe it'll get 6 or 7. If it's just kind of a traditional home, not really a ton of improvements made, then you're going to be looking at 1 or 2 offers as of right now within the first week. Again, this is a super hot market, still a very high sellers market, and we'll see that as we look into the Cromford report. But again, we're just seeing that the market is going to a much more healthier spot. So if you can afford, if you have cash, stuff like that, you're going to be able to pick and choose a little bit better than waiving all these contingencies and waiving an inspection period and doing all these things that aren't in your best interest as a buyer. And so next we're going to jump into this contract ratio graphic that I have. I'll put it up on the screen now. And basically this contract ratio compares the number of listings under contract with the number of active listings without a contract. So we can see this yellow line in the middle there is actually trending downwards. And what that shows is there are more homes that are active and on the market that aren't under contract anymore as quickly. So it's showing that the market is slowing down. It's an indicator. You can see it before, kind of had that with the blue line, it was trending down as well around this time, but it's a very steep decline because again, demand is softening, supply is going up, etc. So this was just something I wanted to put in here because you can see it's quite the indicator of the market kind of shifting a little bit. So and when I say market shift, I don't want that to be a scary sound for anybody. If someone just bought a house or something like that, the market still has a long way to go, and I'll explain more later on about where we once were, where we're at today. We're still in an incredible seller's market, and as you can see, we'll go ahead and shift on over to the Cromford report. I'll put up on the screen right now the CMI of the 17 largest cities in Arizona here. You can see we're having double-digit declines within the CMI index, so the Cromford Market Index. So what this is showing is every single city now has a double-digit decline in this, so we're having less buyers for every listing on the market. So you can see as of Fountain Hills, 13%. It's number 1 still. So Fountain Hills still very, very active. Still, it's the highest in Arizona to be selling right now. So the best sellers market in Arizona. So we're seeing a 473, but last week it was a 545. So last week there's 5.45 buyers for every seller or every listing. Now there's only 4.73 buyers. So you can see that's kind of what that number represents. We're seeing huge decreases in some of these. Gilbert, 28%. decrease month over month. We're seeing another 27%, Cave Creek down, Tempe's 22%, Queen Creek down 32%. So we're seeing that this market is shifting, and we're seeing these larger percentages because it got to such a point. So again, it's showing that the market's shifting. So we're not in such a crazy seller's market that we were, but we're just kind of trending towards a more healthy market. We have to remind ourselves the Fed is doing this on purpose. They're raising interest rates on purpose to curb consumer spending. They want inflation to go down. So in order to get inflation down, they're going to try to get people to spend less money by making it harder and harder to buy things. An example, a house, that things that they're getting financing for. And so I'm going to go ahead and throw the CMI or the Cromford Market Index up on the screen as of right now. You can see as this week from last week, this week we're at 334.3 on that market index chart, a 99.1 on the demand, and then a 27 or 29.7 on the supply. And this is going to be cross-referenced with last week to see. So demand last week 100.5. The actual market index was 358.9, and then the supply was 28 even. So again, we're just really just showing that we're trending towards a healthier market. So if people ask me, right, is now a good time to buy? I would say, yeah, it's still a good time to buy because it's still a crazy seller's market, but we're trending towards a more healthy market. So if you need to buy, you have a kid on the way, etc., we're going to be in a much more healthy market for you to buy than you were going to be in 6 months ago. So you're not going to waive an inspection. You're not going to waive the appraisal contingency. You're going to make sure you're paying appraised price. Things like this are great for a buyer. And so you can see that we're trending towards a healthier market. And if you can afford the interest rates going up, say you want to maybe scale back on the wants and desires of your next house, go for a little bit less house like we were talking about before, you're going to be able to get into a house much better. You can still afford your monthly payment, still locked in on a 30-year note. It still makes sense to be able to buy, or with cash or something like that. Of course, you're going to be in a better spot to buy right now than you were 6 months ago and paying, an exuberant amount of money over list price. So, and that's pretty much it for today of this week's market update. I appreciate you watching this video. If you have any questions, post them in the comment section down below. Like and subscribe. That would be great. We're trying to grow this channel and get this information out to more people. So my name is Riley with Team CR Realty, where Arizona real estate is seen. Thank you.